Martinsville, where Randy LaJoie has led every lap after getting a jump on David Green at the start. Mike Wallace is second. In third is the point leader and pole sitter David Green. That's where the point chasers are running. Craven in 13th, Chad Little in 19th. Hermie Sadler is coming out of the pits after a stop while we were in break. Glenn Jarrett, what's the problem?
Well, Hermie Sadler brought his car in. He had a problem with the car. It had a miss, and it sounded like maybe an electrical miss. I'm going to ask Bobby King when I get a chance to what it is. They're still talking to Hermie right now. They did something under the hood. It looked like they changed the wires to the alternator, and it cleared the problem up. So Hermie took off. We'll get a word with Bobby and report back exactly what the problem was, but he does seem to be okay now.
Hermie fourth in the points, as you saw Robert Presley take the Cincinnati Millicron number 35 to the garage.
Well, Mike, I think the engine just gave up. He spun coming off turn 4, and he went straight into the truck there, raised the hood, so that looks bad for him. You know, Hermie Sadler was a dominant car here earlier this year. To have this happen to him, just an electrical box where it's back up to speed now, he lost a couple of laps just making that one change.
15th place battle here, buddy. You saw Dave Rezendes get shuffled around just a bit. Chad Little trying to move in for a spot on the Lipton T car. Look at Chad Little work that wheel.
Yeah, he's coming up out of the corner there, and that's where the race car wants to jump over towards the wall a bunch, so you really got to be careful. It's kind of like being on tight wire. You really have to be careful coming off the corner and not let it get in that concrete wall. But if you hit here, it'll knock the fenders in on tires. You really have problems then.
Chad Little has a mirror full of Dennis Setzer. Back up front, leader Randy LaJoie in the number 20, the Fina car, is already lapping cars. You see him come up on Hermie Sadler and ducks low under Kevin LePage.
Ooh, that was a pretty bold move there coming off the corner. Randy LaJoie's car got all the way sideways trying to get back LePage there. One thing about Randy LaJoie, whatever it'll run, that's what he'll run every lap. He's just got to be real careful. Spin in turn 1.
Chris Diamond goes around in the number 68. The Bethlehem, North Carolina driver will bring out the first caution of the day. Folks, we'll ask you bear with us. We're having a little bit of audio difficulty up here in the booth, but at 28 laps, we'll try to get that corrected and get everybody back online here in a second. Caution comes out on lap 28 for Chris Diamond, who makes his Martinsville Busch debut.
Mike, it must have been just a plug wire or something on Hermie Sadler's car because he was flying.
And Sadler just escaped going a lap down there. That caution was very lucky for him. We'll be right back to Martinsville after this. Come back to Martinsville, one lap, and we'll go back to green flag racing after Chris Diamond's harmless spin in turn 1. Here's what brought out the caution.
Ooh, a little contact there. That was Phil Parsons' car. Got into Chris Diamond there in the left rear corner and just turned him right around.
No serious damage, and there's a lot of smoke from the right front of Dave Rezendes' cars. Well, now that seems to have dissipated as we get ready for restart.
Mike, as you can clearly see there, Phil Parsons actually didn't do anything. He just held his line going in the corner there, and Chris Diamond come down to get a better angle getting in the corner, and they rubbed there, and it turned him right around into almost into the wall.
But he could have got a little bit closer to that curve than what he was, though.
Good point, David. We're back under green. Cars on the lead lap are on the inside lane. The lap cars are to the outside. Randy LaJoie takes off. Dick Trickle has gone behind the wall, subbing for Rodney Combs. Fourth Busch start of the year for Trickle, and they've taken the French's Mustard black flag car behind the wall and have it jacked up on the side.
Boy, that car of LaJoie's is really hooked up off the corner. I mean, accelerates from the center of that corner straight away. He pulls those two cars behind him a good 2 or 3 car lengths right out of the middle of the corner. Boy, David Green acts like he's 56 points behind right now. He's giving Mike Wallace all he can stand. He's giving him a little nudge there in the middle of turn 3 and 4. He's trying to get under him. That's very hard to do, is to come off the corner fast and get under a car that's running equally as fast as you are almost.
Just like I said earlier, buddy, he's running a lot harder than I think he would, or think he should, you know, and him that far ahead in points. But do they chart in the Busch races, do they give points for the leading of the race?
No.
I didn't think so, but he sure acts like he wants to get up there and lead.
Well, it's hard to run into anybody when you're in front.
Well, that's true. That is definitely.
Second place point man, Ricky Craven. Craven right now is in 10th place.
You see him just behind Larry Pearson there. Larry Pearson has really bad bruised ribs. He's wearing a flak jacket today, but he has a super sub waiting in there, Jimmy Hensley. In case he can't stay in the car, he has one of the best relief drivers in the whole sport.
He has, but in fact, I'd rather have Jimmy Hensley in the car here at Martinsville than anybody I could think of, because he knows how to get around this place. He takes his time. He don't wear out the brakes and everything. So, yeah, I feel like if they had a caution, it'd be Larry's best interest if he got out and let Jimmy Hensley get in the car.
Now, if you're new to the sport, Larry, who's a two-time Busch champion of that 92 Stanley Tools car, is David's son. How's he feeling this morning?
Well, I talked to him a little bit, and he's real sore, and he feels like it. I said, well, we're at Martinsville. It wouldn't hurt you here. He said, well, it's a lot worse here than it is anywhere else.
Really?
So I didn't really know that, because I felt like it on a short track like this, you don't have much side pressure, and so he should be in good shape, especially with the flat jacket.
You see the 25 car there, Hermie Sadler. Earlier in the race, they black flagged him for running too slow. He's not running too slow now. He's probably the fastest race car on the racetrack, but he lost some laps trying to get the electrical part of that car worked out.
He is 3 laps down right now after the stay on pit road.
That's pretty tough to beat there. When you get 3 laps down here, it's not a type of racetrack you can just go up and pass somebody at will. You have to work your way around. You can get careless here, and you'll have the front end beat off the car right quick.
Yeah, we thought that, he lost the cylinder as slow as he was running, but he undoubtedly had 2 spark plug wires off instead of 1, because he was just running real slow around the racetrack.
That's a lot when you only have 6 to start with. Right here's the second place battle, Mike Wallace and David Green. Let's go down behind pit wall. Here's Glenn.
Well, probably the most famous substitute driver in America. This is about the 12th different car this guy's been in this year. Had an awfully good run going there, Dick. What happened?
Yeah, you only get 2 sets of tires run 3 laps here, so we were just setting in 4th place there trying to save our tires. The French and mustard car broke the yoke off the front of the rear end, so it's just the same as breaking and flying off the drive shaft or something. I don't know if we'll fix it and go back out or we're points or not, but that was a lot of fun to drive the car. It was driving great. The crew work will be good. I'm hoping for Rodney to get a lot better with his broken shoulder.
Of course, he's talking about Rodney Combs, who owns and drives that car. Rodney broke his shoulder at Charlotte last week. Dick Trickle filling in very able.
Thanks, Glenn. Second place battle here, Mike Wallace and David Green right in his tire tracks. And David, it looks now as if David Green is running Mike Wallace's pace instead of trying so hard to get by him.
It seems like he's backed off a little bit, but we have a car here going awful slow in 3 and 4 corner here, number 42. He got trouble.
David Blankenship making his Busch debut. Outstanding late model stock driver. He may have a flat on the left side.
No, he's running too slow for a flat. I think he's got an engine problem. If he had a flat, he'd be getting around a little faster.
Mike, one thing you got to remember about David Pearson, he will correct you.
That's okay. That's part of my job, to let him do that. That's fine. He brought that car to a halt behind pit wall at lap 46.
I was talking just a few seconds ago about the 9 car holding David Green up, but they're reeling in the leader right now. There is the Iceman himself, Terry Labonte, 4 wins this year. Before this race is over, he'll be up there knocking on the win door. You watch.
Just before the caution, I think he was the fastest car on the racetrack. He
that's
started
pretty normal for him in that car. That's a great race car, and his father builds really nice race cars. Got a good engine program. This car is the sister car to the car that's leading in the point standings right now, David Green.
Prepared out of the same shop. Terry Labonte started 16th. He's now up to 6th. Here is the gap up front, and they're running down Randy LaJoie.
They are running him down, no doubt about it.
Now, what can happen a lot of times, LaJoie jumped out there and set a pretty fast pace, and you can use up your tires a little bit, and the guys are kind of pacing themselves there in second and third, and I think Randy may have put a little more heat in his tires, trying to set a pace like he did, and they're coming back on him right now. He has a handling problem, or his tires are giving up really bad.
Should be a good battle for the lead when we come back. Tom Peck has taken the Moen Fawcett 05 behind the wall as Mike Wallace and David Green close down on the race leader. Under caution here at Martinsville, Phil Parsons making contact with Dennis Setzer. Setzer going around Johnny Benson, just narrowly missing Dennis Setzer. Next week, the AC Delco 200 from Rockingham, Saturday, October 22nd. These same cars will decide the Busch Series Championship. There's the number for tickets, and there are good seats available for Saturday and for Sunday. You'll see the AC Delco 500 Winston Cup race live from Rockingham here on TNN as well. Let's see what happened up here in turn 4.
Oh, Dennis, he just spun out.
Yep.
Dennis Setzer just went in there and got a little loose, and boy, Johnny Benson did a great job. You see Phil Parsons got in the back of one of the cars trying to slow down there and spun himself out, but we stand corrected. Phil Parsons had nothing to do with that at all. When he got there, there was a wreck already there.
Right. He did make contact.
You say that.
He did make contact, but not with Setzer. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I'm standing by with Dennis Conner. He's the crew chief for Randy LaJoie. Dennis, Randy ran out there to a pretty good lead, and it looks like they were reeling him in right before that caution came out. Is the car okay, or just tell him to take it easy?
On about lap 46, he said he thought he broke a valve spring, and we slowed down about 3/10. So we're kind of down to about 5.5 cylinders, and we'll probably be able to run. Looks like with the two cars that's right behind us, or the 9 car and the 44. If nothing else goes wrong, I think we'd probably have a good day today, but the domination seems to be gone.
Wow, imagine that, 5.5 cylinders, and he can still run with them. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back. We're going to turn this thing loose again here in a moment. We'll be back for the restart.
Coverage of Busch Series racing from the Martinsville Speedway on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running. And we're running back under green at Martinsville. Hermie Sadler tries to get one of his laps back from the new race leader, Mike Wallace. Wallace had beaten Randy LaJoie back to the caution flag to take the lead. And Hermie gets one of his 3 laps back.
Mike, Randy LaJoie said they could outrun those 2 cars. They're having a lot of problems down the straightaway. You see Kevin LePage there trying to get by him on the outside. David Green has been extremely careful. Coming off the corners, they almost run over him just a second ago. So that cylinder is really going away in a hurry.
David Green in 3rd place. Have to go back to 8th place to find Ricky Craven, and about 11th. Make that 15th for Chad Little.
I tell you, I've never seen a car run that good on 5 cylinders. Not as good as that 20 running.
You know the bad part, Mike, we're talking about valve springs. When they're talking about a valve spring break, it's either the inner spring or the outer spring, but whatever it is, it's got little pieces of metal that start running through the motor there. So you really, really don't get better. If anything, it'll probably break the other spring and cause a lot of problems.
David Green has gotten past LaJoie for 2nd place. 2nd and 3rd.
But it's probably, he just broke a spring. It's not really completely broke. And he hasn't lost a cylinder, complete cylinder. It's just weak.
Positions of the point leaders. As we look back through the field, Jim Bound, Jason Keller having good runs here today, and Dick Trickle is back in the race. There's Craven, posted in 8th. Well, so far, this race is going about like David Green would like it.
It is. Of course, I still think, now, if I was in David Green's pit right now, I would tell them to slow up a little bit. Because those 2 guys, they're just making the pace a little bit too fast, I feel like. Of course, now, this is also a Busch race. They don't run at 300 laps.
Right.
If it's a Winston Cup race, he would never make it. He'd give out a break in 500 laps. Run that hard.
If he eases up, that 2 car will be on him, because Craven knows he has to get to the front to have a chance at this championship. And just ahead of Ricky Craven, Andy Petrie's in that 3 car today.
Yeah, there's a lot of story to that. That's Dale Earnhart's car, and Andy Petrie's running it. And Everingham, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, is the crew chief here. So these guys, they just borrowed from everybody here, I think. But you see Andy's doing quite a good job in the car. It seems to be handling pretty good. Right now, I'm sure that Ricky Craven would like for him to get over and let him go after the points leader, though.